And welcome to a new episode of The Simpsons Did It. I'm your host, Steven Skolansky.
And I'm your co-host, Robert Skolansky.
And this week is Valentine's Day.
Or is it?
No, not really, because it's the first week in November, so we're close to Valentine's Day.
Yes, we got pretty close. We'll get into it a little bit more. Not a big fan of Valentine's Day.
No, I mean, Dr. Zoidberg had it right. And today would only be great if it was Valentine's Day. Wait a minute.
But it was.
But it is? Yeah. God, I love the crossovers with, other Mac grading products like Futurama, where you're like, when Futurama did the Valentine's Day thing, it's like, kind of like, oh, it's like the Simpsons Valentine's Day
That
thing.
wasn't the episode, the Futurama episode. I think they did two maybe, because there's the one with the candy hearts where Fry...
Yep, that's
passes
that one.
Out.
That's
what's
that one.
What's the one where the time was it a Valentine's Day episode where the time hop episode?
No, I think
because like he won Lisa's heart and then like a time skipped and they got a divorce.
Oh, I guess I don't know.
That's like that's Comedy Central season 6.
Oh, okay, yeah,
it's like one of the newer episodes, I think.
Don't know, but how about let's get back to Simpsons? I know we love Futurama, but let's get back to the Simpsons. So this week, we're doing season 4, episode 15. I love Lisa.
I do love Lisa. She's very smart.
Yep, which is kind of funny because it's a Lisa-centric episode, but it's also a Ralph-centric episode too.
Yes.
So it's just kind of cool. So we add a little bit of extra centricity to this episode.
And cool title reference too, because it's a reference to I Love Lucy.
Yeah, that was kind of an easy one, right?
Yeah. Although we didn't get any I Love Lucy references in this episode.
No, kind of weird, but sure.
Yep.
But it's kind of funny. So the air date for this episode is actually February 11th of 93. So
yep, 2 days before my birthday.
They actually lined this episode up pretty well with Valentine's Day, which is kind of rare for Simpsons. I mean, Halloween, they usually line up pretty well, but most of everything else, Christmas, because of the hiatus thing, they don't really line up very well. And a lot of the other holidays, they don't.
And a cool tidbit about this episode is it's actually based on a real event of one of the writers.
Nice. Yeah, see, a lot of these early season episodes, when they're kind of thinking of what do we write? Where do the Simpsons go from here sort of thing? They're like, let's just pull from real life experiences, which is, I think real life experience pulling from like writers and directors and stuff is better than pulling from
thin air.
Well, no, real world situations, like a lot of episodes and TV shows, they kind of have
it really depends on the show for me when they pull from real world, because like Law and Order, like they pull from real life events, but I guess that's more murder.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if the Simpsons are gonna do murder.
They should.
Yeah, a Law and Order Simpson episode, that'd be great.
I'm pretty sure they've referenced Law and Order a couple times in The Simpsons.
I'm sure they have. So the recap for this week: Lisa gives Ralph Wiggum a Valentine, and he develops a huge crush on her.
So, question: have you ever given somebody a Valentine, or did anybody give you a Valentine, and you developed a crush on that person, or vice versa?
Not because of the Valentine. I think I just made it of my own free will. Like, I mean, the funny thing is. I don't know how Springfield Elementary works, but I remember our elementary school, middle school, you were basically obligated to bring in a Valentine for every single person. It wasn't just a free for all, give one to who you want.
Elementary school was you bring one for everyone. I don't ever remember doing a whole lot of Valentine's Day stuff in middle school.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, so, Springfield Elementary seems to be a free-for-all, like, give one to who you want.
Yeah.
But
I feel like maybe back in the day, like, maybe in the 80s, that's how it was.
Yeah.
Because they didn't care about people's feelings in the 80s.
No, they didn't. Which, once again, my feelings are hurt, I didn't get a Valentine. Well, maybe you're just not likable. Like Ralph.
Oh.
But no, I mean, I didn't. I don't think. I think I wished girls. I think I had crushes on too. Give me a Valentine, and obviously they did. But
Yeah. Because I remember, I think it was high school, you could buy roses for
yes,
Valentine's Day.
I
And
never.
honestly, or
I never did that, and
yeah.
I never got one. Even if I had a girlfriend in high school, I was like, you know what? I'm not. I'll buy her a Valentine of my own free will. I'm not going to give the
Yeah.
money school for roses
Yeah.
that I could either buy myself or I don't know, like it.
Yeah. I never received a rose. I never gave a rose. I didn't really have money to do it anyways. So,
Yeah. All right. So chalkboard this week. I will not call the principal Spudhead. Now, do you know what Spudhead is? Did you Google Spudhead?
I never Googled it, but Spud is potato.
Yeah. So
So potato head.
so don't call the principal Mr. Potato Head.
I guess not.
Maybe the copyright there was a copyright infringement where
Maybe.
they couldn't use Mr. Potato Head, so they were like, okay, well, potato's called a spud, we'll call him Spudhead. Because yeah, I googled it and I don't think there's slang for it. There's no reference to it, so
I would say try urbandictionary.com, but that might not get you the result you want.
yeah. So I'm gonna guess there was a wordplay of Mr. Potato Head originally,
Yeah.
and they couldn't use it because TM.
Maybe.
And yeah, so they went with Spudhead. That's the only thing I could think of. Maybe Principal Skinner was wearing a potato sack or something. And
Maybe.
okay, either way, I don't know. I can't say one way or the other. So couch gag, we get our first repeat of the circus line couch gag, which we originally saw in Lisa's First Word, and that was literally like 4 episodes ago. So
Yeah.
someone at either Fox or Simpsons headquarters like, dude, remember when we did that circus line couch gag? Dude, Twitter blew up, even though Twitter's not even here yet. Twitter just went nuts, and so they had to repeat it right away, I guess.
That or they didn't have any ideas for this episode.
Yeah.
Well, and as we're about to see, we're about to go into a string of a few episodes where we get some repeated couch gags. And the circus line couch gag is in like 4 or 5 episodes.
I know, it's crazy. That's what I'm saying. Someone blew up something and was like, dude, we gotta roll with this. While the iron is hot, we gotta roll with this couch gag.
Yeah. Okay. Okie dokie. So our episode starts out on the KBBL radio station with a heart wipe because it's Valentine's Day. I didn't notice that. I noticed that at the end of the episode. I missed it at the beginning.
Yeah. So the very first, like what is that? What it's called in the entertainment industry? A heart wipe.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I remember I was thinking back to because I was gonna say open up on heart shaped thingy black in. And
it's a heart wipe.
Okay, because I was thinking too. Remember when Homer and Ned are doing their videos for Ned's dating, and they're like, "And star wipe," and out, and I was like, "Okay, that's got to be a wipe."
Technically, this is not a wipe. It is a push.
Okay,
so it is a heart push.
Heart push. Okay, see, I knew you would know.
Yeah.
What the actual terminology for this was,
because you're pushing into the scene with the heart opening up.
That was so cool. I was like, that was awesome.
And for some reason, KBBL is playing the Monster Mash on Valentine's Day.
Well, don't you know that the monsters are in groups and they're loving and like the zombies and the werewolves are all lining up 2 by 2 and
Stop
mashing.
trying to stretch this. That is a stretch. But it's great because I love when we cut to we see somebody making candy hearts and you can hear the radio announcers argue over why he played Monster Mash.
That was awesome.
That was great. And so as I said, we get candy hearts and we in like a minute in we find out Bart is the one painting them, which makes sense. So he writes on the candy hearts, "Kiss off, eat my shorts, prize pig, you stink, and love sucks."
That's awesome. And I love how he's wearing like the monocle, like magnifying glass to be so precise writing on him.
Well, you gotta be. I mean, you got that tiny brush. The candy heart, the chalk is like not that big. And yes, I'm gonna call it chalk because candy hearts taste like chalk.
Yep,
it's chalk.
But it's crazy. It's actual for Bart to put that much effort into a prank. I mean, if he put that much effort into his schoolwork, man, he could grow up to be Supreme Court Justice.
Yep. Yes, he could. So then we cut to the old folks' home, and Abe and Jasper are sitting down, and Abe is going on about how he hates Valentine's Day because it's just another Hallmark holiday cooked up to sell cards. And I want to take this line and plaster it everywhere. So because nobody out there really knows me, I hate Valentine's Day because it falls the day after my birthday, so nobody pays attention to my birthday.
Well,
yes, I am that petty.
Well, what's really funny? I don't know in '93 if the Hallmark holiday reference, because nowadays everyone's like, oh, Christmas is a Hallmark holiday, Halloween's a Hallmark holiday, like all this stuff now is considered.
Who buys cards for Halloween?
Dude, they go to Target, man. They got cards for Halloween. I'm telling you, like everything is like designed to make money nowadays.
Yeah,
but I don't know if in '93 we or most people considered it Hallmark holiday as opposed to let the ones we love, let's give them. I mean, we gave our parents Valentines and we gave presents and stuff like that growing up. So
probably my worst birthday was 5th grade because Valentine's Day fell on a Saturday that year.
Oh, so you did all the Valentine's stuff on Friday?
Yeah. So my birthday was meshed with Valentine's Day, and I'm like, that's bull crap. I did get cake, but it was pink because it was Valentine's Day. It was awful. I hated it. Valentine's Day sucks. Although I will say our dad's dad was born on February 14th. So I kind of got to share my birthday a little bit with him. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So Jasper gets a Valentine's Day card from his granddaughter, which is nice. And Abe is just sitting there. He's like, can I have the envelope? Because he didn't get a Valentine's Day card and he doesn't want to feel left out. Yeah. Poor Abe. Well, nobody remembers Abe because he's in the nursing home. Yeah. Well, retirement home. So then we cut to Mo, and Mo got a Valentine's Day as well from his secret admirer, who just happens to be Barney. Hello. Oh dear God, no. and Barney burps Mo a kiss.
Oh my God, that was awesome.
Oh, that was great. I loved it. Well, of course Barney's going to be Mo's secret admirer because Mo fills Barney with beer.
Yep, exactly. I love how Barney's there on Valentine's Day too. But the bar is actually empty. Like you don't see the other barflies. It's literally just Barney.
Well, I mean, it could be like 10 a.m. Like it just be opening time, and like the other barflies went to work.
Yeah, and I know we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves, but like next episode's Barney quote kind of works perfectly. If you never closed, I'd never leave.
Yep. So now we cut to the Simpson household, and Marge cooked Homer a nice big plate of bacon and eggs that spell out "I love you." See, there's a woman you marry over and over again. But if I had anybody, I don't care who it is, if anybody came to my house with a plate of bacon and eggs that spelled out "I love you," I would be forever in their debt.
Yeah, but I love the fact that 2 episodes ago, Homer, or maybe 3-4 episodes, Homer literally just had a heart attack, and now Marge is pumping him full of bacon and eggs again.
I mean, I feel like maybe that's I don't know. Again, continuity.
But maybe it's like a one-time thing. Like Marge is like, okay, maybe. Homer, it's Valentine's Day. I'll give you bacon and eggs, but tomorrow you're back to oatmeal.
Yes. And so Marge is like, oh yeah, I gave this to you for this special day. And Homer's like, crap, what day is it? Just take a wild guess at it. Happy Valentine's Day, honey. Oh, you remembered. What a lucky guess.
Well, okay, come on. He obviously has to know February. And there's only really 2 holidays in February that we're learning this episode. One is Valentine's Day. And so he could have been like, Happy President's Day?
Okay, I feel like, well, she said special day, so he has a choice of Valentine's Day, their wedding anniversary, or Christmas.
Or birthday. So he'd probably know Christmas. I'd say birthday.
So birthday is... So, I mean, he's got a 33% chance of getting it right. But again, this is Homer Simpson we're talking about. So I'm going to give him a 10% chance of getting this right.
Yeah.
And then, so then we cut to Bart asking Homer if he made any plans.
I know. He's like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. This is a dumb holiday. And then you see Flanders outside. If you think I'm cuddly and you want my company, come on, wifey, let me know. Uh.
And as Steve just sung, God, I never wanted to hear that sung by you. Ned Flanders is singing a heavily sanitized version of Rod Stewart's "Do You Think I'm Sexy?" And so I had to look this up because this is in one of my favorite movies. So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Yes.
I'm like, why do I know this song? And
Yep.
so, Flanders and he's dressed in a heart box.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is. I mean, I think we're starting to open up more of Ned Flanders' personality now.
Yeah.
Like, we really haven't gotten much through the first 3.5 seasons of Flanders' actual personality and what he's like.
Yeah. Well, we do find out in the next episode what he's like drunk.
Yeah. We find out what everyone's like drunk.
Yeah. So Bart tells Homer he should give, Marge her present. And Homer's like, "That's a great idea, boy." And then he runs up, he's like, "It's in the closet on the second floor of our home." I love how he says that. I'm like, you could have just said it's in the bedroom.
But why would he, okay, so obviously he wants to escape the house to go get a present. Why would he be like, "Oh, it's in the garage"?
because I feel like that would be too easy to detect.
Now, but remember the whole trope is, either maybe he could have run upstairs, run wherever, and then you hear the car starting and the car like zip away. Did he run to the Quickie Mart?
No, so we hear him run upstairs, we hear him close the door, lock it, open the window, he falls down because he tried to climb the storm drain, and the storm drain detached from the house and he fell down. He stands up, he looks around, and he runs.
Yeah, so he ran to the Quickie Mart instead of taking his car.
Exactly.
Like they wouldn't notice that.
No, well, I'm sure they knew what was up. It's Homer.
Yeah, and so Homer goes to the Quickie Mart and he's like, quick, Apu, what do you got for Valentine's Day? I got this box of chocolate for $100. That's highway robbery. Well, I'll take it, but I'm never going to shop here again.
No. He told him he wouldn't buy it, and then Apu's like,
"Oh, right. Sure you won't." And then Homer kind of nudges towards the door. He's like, "All right, I'll take it, but I'm never shopping here again." And then Apu is like, "Oh, you better not notice about the discount store next door." He's like, "Nickel off expired baby food." Because I guess Maggie needs baby food too, right?
Expired baby food?
Exactly.
That's a nickel off.
Hey man, after Homer's triple bypass, I doubt they have much money left.
Know that.
Well, no. They got the cheap surgery from Dr. Neck, so they probably do have some money left over.
Also, don't forget they have all the gold in the floorboards.
Right, that hasn't run out
and the diamonds. Yet.
Yeah. And so now we cut to the Springfield Elementary, and Miss Hoover is trying to get the kids to put together, or someone was like, was it Janie or someone was like, "Oh, can we pass out Valentines?"
Yes.
And Miss Hoover was like, "No, we need to make these little boxes to put on the front of a desk." At least like, isn't that just busy work? Sure is. Get cracking. Because, they want the day to, kind of almost be done before... so that way she doesn't have to teach or do anything. So they construct the boxes, put them on the front, and now they're passing out Valentines.
Oh, no, because you skipped over Ralph quote. My parents won't let me use scissors. And all the kids laugh at him. And Miss Hoover is just like, "You can't even cut butter with these things."
Oh, these are the best Ralph quotes. This whole episode is like literally the start of all the Ralph quotes.
Yeah. Like also Miss Hoover is a terrible teacher because she encourages the kids to laugh at Ralph.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, Ralph is so dumb and stuff.
I feel bad for Ralph.
Yep. And Miss Hoover's like, "Okay, children, take out your red crayons." "Miss Hoover, I don't have my red crayon." "Well, what happened?" "I ate it." And then you kind of see him smile and there's red all over his teeth.
Why isn't Ralph in a special ed class?
Because
they can't afford it.
They can't afford it? Or Ralph just tested above the line. I don't know, maybe. And then so now Skinner gets on the announcement horn and is like, "There's some fake candy hearts circulating, and it's most likely Bart."
I love how he accuses Bart without any proof.
Oh, it's always Bart. If it's in the school, it's always Bart. And so, and he said, I like how he's like, He has a flashback. He's like, Valentine's Day is no joke, and he has a flashback to Nang, 1969, where they're on a boat, and he's talking to one of his soldiers about sending a Valentine back to his wife, and he gets shot to death, which is a reference to the Apocalypse Now. So I think this is the second or third one now within.
Yeah, there's
the
two.
first
There's
few
also
seasons.
two. So there's a kind of a somewhat controversy over this scene because some veterans didn't necessarily like it. But there's two characters on the boat that are modeled after two of the characters in Apocalypse Now. And one of I think it was Matt Groening's brother. I don't remember. I read that one of the siblings of one of the writers or Groening actually loves this scene, and he's a veteran, so he's like, well, go screw yourself, basically.
Yeah. And so I like how he's like, Johnny, and then he like, Bart's like, cool, I broke Principal Skinner's brain. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I now this is just crazy because this is probably like the 7th or 8th flashback of.
I think it's only like the third.
Oh really? I feel like we've
Yeah.
gotten a lot of Skinner either flashbacks or remembrances of his time in the army.
I mean, I think it might only be like the second flashback, but it's definitely not the first time we've heard Skinner talk about Nam.
Yup. So now Hoover tells the kids it's time to pass out the Valentines. And, Miss Hoover, I glued my head to my shoulder.
Damn it, Ralph. How do you glue your head to your shoulder with Elmer? Like, I'm assuming they're using like Elmer's glue.
Yup. But
Ralph.
but it's funny. I think the Simpsons writers finally picked what Ralph was going to become because all the other episodes prior to this, it's trying to make Ralph semi-smart, kind of dumb.
Yeah.
They never really fit into Ralph. And now I think almost all the times that Ralph talks now from now on, it's just Ralph quotes.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much it. And so obviously Ralph doesn't get a Valentine because everyone thinks he's a goof. Mm-hmm. And so Lisa feels bad for him, and she erases someone else's name on a card.
So here's my question. So I watched this scene. She definitely erases something.
Yeah.
Does she erase somebody else's name and writes Ralph, or does she erase a couple, the to and from, and writes to Ralph from Lisa, and it was a Valentine she was gonna hand out?
Yeah, so I almost think it was a Valentine she was going to give to someone else, and she just decided to give it to Ralph. That's the only thing I could think of.
Because I did read somewhere somebody thought she got a Valentine
and just recycled it.
Yeah.
I mean that's possible too.
Yeah.
She's like, this is the one card in the pile that's dumb, so let's give it to Ralph. And so the card, which is awesome, and I actually have one of these cards provided by, so for those of you that don't know, the Simpson Man, he's been a guest on our podcast twice, does these Valentine's Day boxes that you could buy for your significant other. And one of the things in the box is a I choose you Valentine's Day card. So go check him out, the Simpsons Man on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And come next Valentine's Day, make sure to buy a box for your significant other.
Or for yourself.
Yourself.
Take care of yourself. Be your own Valentine.
Yep. And so Ralph's like, I choose you. And there's a picture of a train.
And that train resembles Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever got maybe in like kindergarten I got a Thomas the Tank Engine Valentine. Maybe. I usually like when we were in elementary school, I usually bought I bought like turtles and like princesses, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers for the boys, and like girly. Granted, our mom helped us pick it out, so I never did the train.
No.
So they get a special holiday meal because it's Valentine's Day, and that special meal, beef hearts.
Yep.
And
so the truck driver comes up. He's like, "Where do you want those beef hearts?" On the floor. Doesn't look very clean. Just do your job, heart boy.
Yeah. So I wasn't sure if this was Lunch Lady Doris's first episode, and it is not. She was also in Lisa's Pony. That was her first episode.
Yeah.
For anybody who might not remember.
Also, wasn't she in the Little Miss Springfield? Wasn't she a judge on the panel?
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah. I just don't remember these things. My memory is not the greatest. So I love the fact that when he dumps it on the floor right before you cut to the cafeteria, you do hear a heartbeat.
That's kind of funny.
That was awesome. Like, oh, that's kind of cool, because even though hearts can't beat when they're out of your chest or any cavity that has a heart.
Yep.
So, and Bart, how did Bart get one of the hearts?
Well,
Or was this, or did Lunch Lady Doris just take the heart, put it on two pieces of bread, and here you go?
I don't quite know. I mean,
Because
she was like, just pass here, cut them up like steak. Here you go,
Yeah.
a heart for everyone.
Because Bart was like, "Oh, my baboon heart," and he like plops it on the table.
And all the girls scream.
Yeah. So it's now the end of the school day, and Ralph is waiting outside for Lisa so he can ask her to walk her home. And Lisa's like, "Sure." And so they just have. So as they're walking to Lisa's, they just have an awkward conversation because it's Ralph. And I love how Ralph's like, "Do you like stuff?"
So, do you like stuff?
You know, honestly, Ralph is me. That is totally me. I can't talk to women. Terrible at it.
But this next quote, this is what the probably top 3 of my favorite Ralph quotes.
My doctor said I wouldn't have so many nosebleeds if I just got my finger out of there.
Oh my god. Hands down, one of my top 3 favorite Ralph quotes. Hands down.
I think my favorite Ralph quote is, "My cat breath smells like cat food."
Yeah, that one's good too. Oh, they're all good.
Yeah, they are. So Lisa's like, "Okay, Ralph, bye." And she goes into the house, and then she runs past Bart and Homer, who are watching Itchy and Scratchy, and it's their Valentine's Day special, My Bloody Valentine. Scratchy gives Itchy a heart that says "I love you" on it. Aw, even though Itchy keeps blowing Scratchy up and killing him. Itchy then realizes he didn't get anything for Scratchy, so he sticks his hand into Scratchy's heart, pulls out his heart Indiana Jones style, gives it back to him. Scratchy loves it, puts it on like a shelf on his wall, then sits down to read the paper where the paper says, "You need a heart to live." Scratchy realizes what's going on, gets up, and then dies.
Yeah.
Like, I get it's a cartoon, but...
Oh, that's awesome. That was so funny. I
I was
that.
just like, what? When he noticed that it was his own heart, and then he would need it to live without a newspaper telling him?
No, he's Scratchy. He's dumb.
Yeah. So then we get Krusty talking about his 29th anniversary show, which both Bart and Homer want to go see. And I love how, like, Homer's like, "I would sell my firstborn son to go see it." And Bart's just like, "Hey."
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. No, I mean, I think if my hero was having like an anniversary show, I definitely want to
absolutely
attend it.
Yeah.
And so we see a scene. So they're kind of doing that must be up to this anniversary. I think Conan did this when he was doing like his anniversary shows and stuff.
Okay.
He'd always show clips of old episodes and stuff. And we get one where Mel is whacked out on Wowie sauce. And I guess so. He's talking about something and swears, and we get a censor bleep,
which is the first time they actually used it for profanity.
Like on any cable show?
No, just in The Simpsons.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like in ever.
No, what? What?
I don't know. You were like,
No.
This is the first time censor bleep was used for actual profanity. And I'm like,
in The Simpsons.
Well, you didn't write that. You just wrote actual profanity. So I'm like, this is the first Simpsons invented? I was going to say this is a Simpsons did it, but they invented the bleep?
No, they definitely did not invent the bleep.
Aw, I thought that would have been awesome.
No.
So, when Bart says he would do anything to go to that show, he's holding a Buzz Cola.
He's not. No.
Oh.
So he's sitting on the couch with Homer. We get the wide shot of both of them. He's like, "I would do anything to go to that show." He has nothing in his hands. And then they do a close-up of Bart reacting to Homer when Homer was like, "Yeah, I'd sell my firstborn son." And then he has a Buzz Cola in his hand.
Magic Buzz Cola. Right? Magic?
Or animation error?
Buzz. Bart thought of a Buzz Cola and it just appeared in his hands. He's magic. And so now we cut to the kitchen and Lisa's telling Marge about the Valentine she gave Ralph, and she asks Marge advice for, basically letting down a boy easy
Yes.
for, saying, oh, I don't have a crush on you. And so Lisa's like, Ralph thinks I like him, but I only gave him the Valentine because I felt sorry for him. And then Homer walks, he's like, ah, sweet pity. Where would my life have been without it? And that's pretty true. Marge felt pity on him when they were driving on the way he was. She was driving down the road, felt pity on Homer, and pulled over and let him in.
Yeah, I love Homer's reasons to let a boy down.
I got it. I
know. So, I was setting it up.
So Lisa's like, well, what do you say to a boy to let him know you're not interested? And then Marge is like, well, honey. And Homer's like, let me handle this, Marge. I've heard them all. I like you as a friend. I think we should see other people. I know speak English. I'm married to the sea. I don't want to kill you, but I will.
I love him so much.
Have you ever gotten that one?
Well, no, I've never gotten any of these. Well, I think I've maybe gotten I like you as a friend more times than I would like to count.
Oh, but you had never gotten the I'll kill you, but I will. Okay.
I've never gotten the other ones except for I like you as a friend, which is probably the worst one out of them. I would be okay if if a girl's like, I don't want to kill you, but I will. I'm like, all right, back it off. Fine by me.
Yep. And then Marge, tells Lisa that just say you're not ready yet. And Homer says, if that doesn't work, I got 6 simple words. I'm not gay, but I'll learn. So Lisa tells Ralph how she feels the next day at the playground. And, it's kind of like he seems that he understands, but he really doesn't. Because then he goes home to his dad to see if he can tell her how to get a girl to like him. And we found out that Ralph's dad is Clancy Wiggum. So this is the first time we see this.
Yep.
And Wiggum is cracking open coconut or walnuts with his gun, just kind of smashing with the handle and opening them. And, he tells Ralph the key is being persistent.
Yep.
And don't lose your cool. And then he kind of whacks a walnut and it won't crack.
Yep.
And so he shoots it with his gun, which I don't think crack the walnut because it kind of blows a hole clean through the kitchen table.
Pretty sure that walnut is now not eatable because it's in several million pieces.
Yep. And I don't think it's safe to fire a weapon when your kid is in the room.
No, it is not.
Let alone in your own house.
But remember, this is Chief Wiggum.
Yes, he loses a lot of things.
Yeah.
So, Ralph, asks, Clancy if persistence how he got his mom. And Clancy says to never underestimate the appeal of a man in uniform as his gut flows out onto the table out of his uniform.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are a lot of women out there who love a guy in uniform.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
Or, whatever it is. Everybody's got their thing. So then we get... So after that, we cut back to, I think it was Bart and Lisa watching the Krusty the Clown show, and Krusty announces they have only 4 more days until his 29th anniversary.
I love how it's the 29th anniversary. Who celebrates that?
I don't know. People?
I mean, he's only 1 year away from 30.
Well, as he said in his next line, he said reviewers said Krusty wouldn't last a week. And you know where they are now? They're all dead. How's it going down there?
Yeah.
That's why he does he probably does a yearly anniversary to mock the reviewers.
Yeah, right.
And so we get a clip of Krusty with the animal handler. He's like, oh, why do they call this a urine monkey? Never mind. Because the urine monkey is on Krusty's head.
Oh, that was so gross, but so funny. Oh, the urine monkey.
Oh my god. So then, Bart's like, we gotta get tickets. And Lisa's like, well, for us to get the tickets, our parents would have to be a part of the cultural elite.
Yep. And then Homer walks in, trying on a toothbrush he got from Flanders' trash. And Homer's like, can you believe Flanders threw out a perfectly good toothbrush?
And then he uses it.
And then he uses it like it's from I'm guessing, just like normal people throw away a toothbrush every 6 months when you go to a dentist. So
yeah,
I mean, maybe Homer...
I think you're supposed to replace your toothbrush every 3 months.
No, 6 months. Why do you think the dentist gives you a new one at every appointment?
I still think it's 3 months. That's what I've heard.
Nah, 6 months. Unless your bristles are completely destroyed, then maybe, but...
So then Homer So Ralph comes over, knocks on the door. Lisa finds out that it's Ralph. And she tells Homer to get rid of Ralph, and Homer opens up the door and tells Ralph that Lisa's on the can and to go away. And Ralph's like, "I'd do anything for Lisa." And so Homer tells Ralph that Lisa wants him to tar the roof.
Oh, this is another one, probably one of my top three. Mr. Simpson, the tar fumes are making me dizzy. Yeah. They'll do that. Oh my god. Just compacted in this episode.
Yes, it's fantastic. So then we cut to, I don't know if it's the same day or the next day.
No, it'd be the next day because they're already at home. So my guess would be the next day at school. Well, President's Day is coming up, right?
Yep,
I think you wrote it's like third Monday in the month, right?
Yep, every third Monday of the month.
Yeah, so
February. Sorry, not of the month, of February.
Yeah, so it'd be the week after Valentine's Day, most likely. Usually, I'm assuming usually
it would be it would be the Monday after the week of Valentine's Day.
Yep.
So we get the President's Day pageant auditions, and some kid named Rex audition for the part of George Washington.
Yeah.
And who the hell is this kid?
He's Rex. He's one of the kids that just sits in the classroom that we don't know about.
And we never hear from again.
Probably because he left Springfield Elementary to go to a art school because he believes he's the best person ever. And so I love it. Miss Hoover's like, Martha Washington will be played by Lisa Simpson, and then I like how she giggles. She's like, yeah. And then George Washington will be played by Ralph Wiggum. And they're like, what? This is a travesty. Everyone knows I'm the best actor in this ridiculous school. Sit down, Rex. I will not sit down. Someone's gotten to you, you deceitful cow. That's absurd, Rex. Ralph won the part fair and square. Then Miss Hoover crosses over to the window and opens and shuts the Venetian blinds repeatedly. Out in the parking lot, you see Wiggum, Lou, and Eddie, and Miss Hoover at the window. It's like, that's a signal. Take the boot off.
I love how they, not blackmailed, but basically bribed Miss Hoover by putting a boot on her car and said, and Chief Wiggum basically like, yep, give my son the part or you're going to keep the boot.
Yep. Now I don't know if this is a good time to bring it up, but this is the first time I noticed it. And since now that we learned this episode that Ralph is Chief Wiggum's son, if you look closely at Eddie's hair, it looks identical to Ralph Wiggum's hair.
Yes, I know the theory.
And there's the theory that he's actually the father and not Wiggum. And realistically, you look at Wiggum's hair and it's blue and kind of curly. And you look at, what's her name? The mom.
Yeah.
You look at her hair and it's blue and it's like long, straight hair.
Here's the thing. So if you look at genetics, it's very possible that they both carry a recessive gene where you wouldn't have that hair. I get the theory, but if you look at it, Eddie's hair is drawn similarly to Homer's.
No. Like with this cap on, it looks exactly like Ralph's. Look at it again. They look identical to Ralph's hairline.
But I feel like Ralph looks more like Chief Wiggum.
Maybe in the body and the face, but not the hair.
I don't like, again, it's just a cartoon. So they probably were just like, well, and don't forget, when they drew Ralph, like, they didn't know who the father was going to be, probably.
Yep, and it's too late to change it at that point.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing the person who drew Ralph drew Eddie, and they're like, maybe we could have him that same hair.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't put too much thought into theories when it comes to cartoons, because I just don't know what the writers are thinking, and what how they ask the animators to draw certain cartoon characters. So while it's a cool theory, I just don't put too much stock into it.
Sarah wanted to have an affair with Eddie. Just come on,
Sarah. So so then Ralph comes over, knocks on the door, and leaves a present for Lisa, which just happens to be a Malibu Stacy convertible. And there's a card in it that says, "Look in the trunk." I think he means trunk. And in the trunk, there are 2 tickets to the Krusty Anniversary Show.
Yeah, and that's a good gift, man.
Yeah, I would take it.
Oh yeah.
I don't care if I like the kid. I take it.
Yep. And then, but I like how Bart says he should be going because he's a bigger fan. Uh, and he's like, "Look, I even bought the Krusty home pregnancy test." And there's a warning that says may cause birth defects.
What is in that?
I don't know how a pregnancy test can cause birth defects, but because
Since you're peeing on a stick.
you're peeing on it, you're not sticking it up there.
No.
So if you were sticking it up there to see if you were pregnant, then maybe.
Maybe that's how Krusty's brand works. Or maybe you have to stick in it. I don't know.
That seems kind of odd, but yeah, I guess don't use Krusty Brand's pregnancy tests.
No,
use Barnacle Bill's pregnancy test. You get a free corn pipe. And so Bart says to Lisa that it wouldn't be honest, and Bart says, "I'll go dressed up as you." And he's like, "But what if he wants to hold hands? I'm willing to make that sacrifice." "Well, what if he wants to kiss you? I'm willing to make that sacrifice." Bart will go to the ends of the earth.
Well, what if you don't want to know
how far I'll go?
Oh boy, that is a very explicit line in a early season Simpsons cartoon.
Dude, Bart really wants to go to this Krusty special, man.
Well, I mean, it's Krusty. Of course he wants to go.
It's his hero.
Yep.
And so, he goes up to Lisa goes up to Homer and says, "Is it okay to take things from people that you don't like?" And you see Homer holding up Ned Flanders' diploma from Oral Roberts University, crosses out Ned Flanders' name and writes his own. I mean, I don't know why Homer wants people to think that he went to Oral Roberts, but
yeah,
I guess.
Maybe I don't know, is Oral Roberts a good college? I think it is.
It definitely is, but I feel like Homer's taken enough stuff from Ned that they could have flashed to anything with property of Ned Flanders on it.
That's true, yeah.
I mean, it didn't necessarily have to be his diploma, but I guess that's the direction they wanted to go. So Homer tells Lisa that to push her conscience around, not let her conscience push her around, and an angel appears on Homer's shoulder and tells him that's a horrible thing to say, and it sounds like Droopy. So if none of you guys watch like old school cartoons, go watch Droopy cartoons. They're awesome. Yeah. And Homer tells the angel to shut up. And says, yes, sir. And so then now they're driving to the Krusty special, and Lisa asks Wiggum how we got tickets. And Wiggum says Krusty knows how to play ball. Well, I mean, we learned what episode was that we learned? It must have been Triple Bypass, because I think I just edited that episode where it was the whole glug glug slug glug thump thump episode.
Yes.
And that's, Krusty knows how to play ball, so he wiped his DWI and
no, he didn't. No, they cut to the Springfield X Theater, which is the pornography theater.
Yeah, that's right.
And now playing Debbie Does Springfield, which is a reference to Debbie Does Dallas. I'm not getting into that because this is a more friendly...
No, it's not.
If you don't know what Debbie Does Dallas is, look it up yourself. I'm not getting into it.
We just did the whole Bart line where he'll do anything. I think we're well past what we'll talk about in this episode.
Well, I think for most of our listeners, they know what Debbie Does Dallas is.
Probably. So, yes, that's the reason. But there's other reasons Krusty knows how to play ball.
Correct.
I'm sure Wiggum gets a lot of free perks from Krusty.
I do love the fact that when they cut to that scene, Wiggum comes in and Krusty thinks it's a bust.
Yeah, but he's actually there to watch the movie.
Yeah.
It's like, and Lisa's like, I don't think this story is suitable for children. He's like, really? I keep my pants on in this version.
God. Oh my God, it's so dirty.
Yep.
This is like the dirtiest Simpsons episode, I think. At least this season.
Yeah, probably. And so we cut to the Krusty special, and we learn that Bill Clinton is at the show. So the United States elite is going to this thing.
Yeah. Well, so if this was February of '93, and I'm gonna get into the math a little bit once we get to the first clip they show. February '93, yes, Bill Clinton would have been the president because the election would have been at the November of '92.
Yep.
And he would have started serving office in January. So it makes sense.
Yeah, but you don't have to be the president to go. I mean, senators like going to.
But he calls him. But
Yeah, he
Krusty
does
calls
too.
him the president.
Yeah. So, well, geez. So this was dropped in February of '93. God,
Yep.
they must have threw that in, because if this episode was written up to 6 months ahead of time,
Yeah.
they probably didn't know he was president yet, unless they just predicted the future. I wonder if this was one of those episodes where they were watching it and we were watching it in '93. Like, oh, they predicted the future.
I probably didn't remember that, but yes, they definitely predicted the future. However, we're going to get into why they didn't predict the future in a second.
Yep. So Krusty tells, a bad joke, and so the audience, doesn't clap. So they flash the applause sign, and the audience sits there with their arm crossed, like, we're not clapping to that. That was a bad joke.
Yes.
And so we get our very first clip of the anniversary special, and it's Robert Frost in 1963.
And this is where the math gets a little wonky. So it feels like to me this is like their first clip ever. Like this is the first episode. And so if it is the first episode of 1963, and this is the 29th anniversary, this would put this in 1992, not 1993. Which means Bill Clinton wouldn't have been the president yet.
Well, no, don't they? So if it's... No, it would be 29, because you don't count your first anniversary till the first year. So if this is 1963, we're in 1993, which would be the 29th anniversary. You minus one, because the first episode isn't of... It's not the first anniversary. It's the first year.
Yeah, it's the first... They're showing a clip from the first episode.
Exactly. So in 1993, it would be the 29th anniversary.
No, it would be the 30th, because the first episode aired in 1963.
Exactly.
You don't minus a year for anniversaries.
Yeah, you do. Your first anniversary. Yeah, so if it started in 1963, the first anniversary is 1964. So it's not 30 years. It's minus one. It's 29. That's how anniversaries work. You don't count the first year as your first anniversary. Episode 1 isn't your first anniversary. It doesn't count. Your first anniversary is 1990, so their first anniversary would be 1964.
Okay.
So 29 is correct.
Okay. Also, Robert Frost died January 29th of 1963.
So they recorded the episode in January, and it was like, uh-oh. Maybe they must have recorded it early January, or they didn't realize.
No, I'm sure the writers realized when he died. So yes, he debuted his show in January 1963.
Maybe he died because of Krusty.
Maybe
Krusty.
Well, I mean, he did.
Him.
No, he did crush. So he goes, "Hey, Frosty, do you want some snow, man?" And he dumps a bunch of snow on him. And Robert Frost is like, "We agreed not to do this." So I'm betting, I bet you're right. Krusty killed Robert Frost by dumping a crap ton of fake snow on him and crushing him to death.
Either that or just giving him like poison. Like maybe in 1963, I'm guessing fake snow might have had a more toxic appeal to it than it does now.
But we're in agreement. Krusty killed Robert Frost.
Yes,
cool.
I'm going to go with that.
So, and then we get a clip from 1973 where we get Croon Along with Krusty, and he's singing Break On Through to the Other Side by The Doors. Great song.
Yep.
I do like the fact that Krusty's like, what was I thinking?
Yeah. Well, he was on drugs. Come on, it was the 70s.
Yeah. So then we cut to the audience, and Ralph somehow is eating ice cream.
Well, they have ice cream vendors at Krusty the Clown show, right?
I don't think so. So
that
Ralph
scoop ice cream out of a bucket from your pouch.
So Ralph asks Lisa if she wants some of his ice cream, and she goes, "No, thank you." And Chief Wiggum, who apparently is also there with them,
but I like how everyone's dressed up so nicely. And
well, yeah, Wiggum it's an anniversary.
But Wiggum's wearing his police uniform.
Yeah, it's a uniform. I don't know. You see military people wear their uniforms to anniversary shows, I'm sure.
Maybe. I guess I've never been to a whole dress-up thing before and seen any, other people there.
So Wiggum asks Ralph to pass it his way, but the ice cream melts and falls onto Lisa's dress. And Wiggum's, oh no, your dress. Nothing. He's like, nothing gets chocolate out. And he shows Lisa a stain on his pants.
You know, in 93, I'm guessing chocolate could come out, but I guess nowadays you could probably use OxyClean or something and get some chocolate out. Yeah.
I think if you scrub the spot first and then throw it in the wash, but you have to do it like right away.
Yeah.
You could probably get the stain out. Like if you wash that thing right away, you could probably get the stain out. But if you don't do it right away, yeah, it's there forever. But I do like how we cut. So Krusty's like, oh, let's talk to the audience. And so he goes to Ralph and you look, Lisa no longer has chocolate on her dress.
Oh, those animators. What were you thinking?
Continuity. I demand it.
At least within a same episode. You can change continuity in next episodes, but come on, within a physical episode, let's keep it.
Yeah. So before they get to all that, we also see a clip of his first sideshow Raheem.
What was it? He didn't want to
get hit in the head by a mallet.
Yeah, get head.
And Krusty is like very angry young man.
Yeah, angry young man.
Yeah. So then Krusty goes up to Ralph and he's like, "Is Lisa your girlfriend?" And Ralph's like, "Yes. And when I grow up, I'm going to marry her." And
yep. And Lisa's like, "Now listen to me. I don't like you. I never liked you. And the only reason I gave you that stupid Valentine is because nobody else would."
Yep. Yikes. And so after she says that, the scene pauses and we cut to the Simpsons living room because Bart and Lisa are rewatching this clip.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did they tape the episode or did like Krusty hand out like videos?
No. They probably couldn't do it right away. So my guess is Bart taped it so that he could watch it over and over and over again.
And Bart's like, "Look, if you stop it right here, you can pinpoint the exact moment his Ralph's heart breaks." And so he's like clicking and clicking. Now somebody did point out, and I noticed this after I read this. He does 10 frames. Ralph moves 10 frames, and Lisa only moves 5. However, and now here's the thing: in TV, something can move for 10 frames, and another one can only move for 5 if that other person really isn't moving a whole lot. So, while it's a cool visual and a cool little anecdote, nothing's wrong with it in my sense.
Yeah.
And so Lisa feels bad, and so we cut to Ralph at the park, and he's like, "At least you guys are my friends." And he throws some bread at the ducks, and the ducks swim away.
No one wants to be friends with Ralph.
And so Chief Wiggum comes by, and he tries to console Ralph, and he's like, "Wait, where did my badge go?" And we find out a duck stole Chief Wiggum's badge, and Chief Wiggum cannot catch the duck.
Nope, because he's fat.
Yep.
I don't know how he passed his, it is Springfield. So how did he pass his entrance physical to the police force?
Yeah.
Kind of tough. I don't know. And so Wiggum, is obviously upset, so he wants to help out Ralph wherever he can. And so Wiggum pulls over Homer in retaliation, says, "What's the problem, officer? You have a taillight out." "Where?" "Right here." And smashes Homer's taillight. I mean, and
this is probably the greatest line.
Yeah, Homer's like, "One day the citizens will stand up to the crooked cops." When?
And there are 2 episodes where the citizens become cops, because there's an episode where Marge becomes a cop, and there's an episode where Homer becomes a cop.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, Wiggum probably should be concerned.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we get hooray for President's Day. You must see it to get course credit.
So the parents have to see it for the kids to get credit?
Yeah.
That makes no sense. Also, the parents would go anyways.
You would think the parents would go support their kids, but
the only time, so when we did our first grade musical, our dad got there super late, and that's only because he had to put our dog down, which kind of sucks. Yeah. But otherwise, he would go to like a lot of the stuff that I did. I know Mom did. So
I don't know.
It's a weird sign.
Yeah. But you want to make sure the parents are going. Well, probably also because they want to get money, as we'll see. So it's 50 cents for orange drink. That'll be the only way to recoup the money from all the fire drill follies. And was that mostly Bart pulling the fire drill?
No. So they cut to another. So Willie's like, because Skinner's like, well, I don't know what went wrong because I feel like it was a fire drill safety thing.
Yeah.
And Willie reminds him that they opened the show with a fire drill and everyone cleared out. So it has nothing to do with Bart. They were trying to do a safety thing with the parents, and they started with the fire drill.
Oh, that's a good idea. And so Skinner's going to open the show here. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a wonderful evening of theater and picking up after yourselves. Yep. We begin with a tribute of our lesser-known presidents. This is good. So and we get a drum roll and a bugle playing "Hail to the Chief," and the song "We Are the Mediocre Presidents. You won't find our faces on dollars or on cents. There's Taylor, there's Tyler, there's Fillmore, and there's Hayes. There's William Henry Harrison. I died in 30 days."
Which is true. He took his presidency and died in a month.
Yep. "We are the adequate, forgettable, occasionally regrettable caretaker presidents of the USA." And then you get the bugle. Yep, you get the bugle playing "Hail to the Chief," trombone playing "Shave and a Haircut," and a tuba doing 2 bits.
Yeah, so the presidents that are mentioned in the song are John Tyler, Zachary Taylor, Millard Fillmore, Rutherford B. Hayes, and obviously William Henry Harrison.
Yep.
And those are the very lesser known presidents because they didn't really do much in their presidencies.
Yeah. Maybe we should get a $2, change the $2 bill or make another dollar, make a bill that has these presidents all on it.
The $1,000 bill?
The $1,000 bill with all the lesser known presidents on it. Give them a little bit. Give them something. Or cram them all on a new coin.
Yeah.
But yeah. So now they're backstage and Bart tells the girls to check out this president, and he drops his pants. You get a Nixon impression saying, "I am not a butt."
God, Bart.
Oh, I gotta love Bart. And so you miss over. Do you want to play John Wilkes Booth or do you want to act like a maniac?
I do like the fact that, Bart was like, I'll behave. Which is weird for Bart. I feel like that's not in character with him to do that.
Well, no. He wants to be John Wilkes Booth. He wants to be a maniac. He's like, I'll behave.
Yeah, because as we see, so Milhouse is playing Lincoln, and he's at the Ford Theater, and Bart busts in to assassinate Milhouse because John Wilkes Booth assassinated Milhouse, and he goes, "Hasta la vista, baby." And so he starts shooting at Milhouse, and they grapple, and Homer is like, "Yeah, get him, boy!" And he's like, "Chester B. Arthur, you're next." And Miss Hoover grabs Bart, and he goes, "Unhand me, Yankee."
Oh my God, that was so great.
I loved it. See, that's amazing. I enjoy that. That's fantastic. Bart acting like the Terminator is great.
And this is why Bart was going to behave. He wanted to do this.
Yeah. So I do like, Skinner comes back on. He goes, "The evening will come to an end." And Homer goes, "Woohoo!" And he goes, "With the story of the life of George Washington." Doh! Because Homer thought the show was ending, which that was the whole point. So we get as the scene's set, and they actually have a real fire burning on stage. I don't know how they're controlling it, because as we see, Ralph does his George Washington. He burns the Valentine's Day card that Lisa gave to him on stage, and he does a really fantastic job of George Washington. Who knew? He does such a good job that Ralph inspires Dolph, Jimbo, and Kearney to go to the library to learn more about the Founding Fathers. Yeah. Or do they just want an excuse to leave?
No, I mean, it's kind of funny, and I we'll talk about it during our character profile, but I love how good Ralph just is.
Yeah. We also cut to Selma and Patty, applauding it as well. Now, I understand that, Bart and Lisa are in this play, but do they really need to be there?
Well, maybe they just wanted to support their niece and nephew.
Or did they want to hit on Skinner again?
Maybe. Or they wanted to keep away from Barney. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. I thought it was kind of weird that they just kind of shoehorned Patty and Selma in there.
I mean, since they live in the same town, maybe. I mean, did our grandma and grandpa go to like some, not all of them, but I'm sure some of our school like musicals or plays and stuff. I have to
Maybe.
imagine.
So yeah, I don't know how often. I know Grandpa and Grandma would come to like baseball games that we played in.
Yeah, so I mean, if I mean,
But not any like school functions. I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, most of our aunts, Aunt Elsie and Aunt Carol, they
Yeah.
lived out of town, so they probably wouldn't ever
No.
come to anything. But I feel
No.
like if aunts and uncles live within your city limits, they might come to a couple of them.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean-
they didn't go to like Bart and Lisa's Christmas musical in the first
No.
season. I don't think they've. I mean, we've had a few concerts and a few like Lisa's beauty pageant and Patty and Selma
Yeah.
didn't go to those, but I'm sure maybe every once in a while. And plus, we've been seeing a lot more of Patty and Selma in recent episodes.
Yeah.
So-
Well, also when it comes to our grandfather, he passed away in '98 when I was in 5th grade. So I mean, he really didn't have a whole lot of opportunities to see me do things.
Yeah,
So, but our grandmother, I mean, she lived till 2012,
Yeah.
but I don't really remember her going to anything that I did. Maybe once or twice. I'd have to ask our parents, but
yeah,
so I love the fact that, you know, they go backstage and Skinner is getting ready to like finish the show by like hoisting Ralph and dropping American flag, and Willie's back there, he's like, and he's crying, he's like, I didn't even cry at my own father's when my own father was hung for stealing a pig.
but I'll cry now.
Oh, that's how good Ralph is. So as I said, Skinner raises Ralph, an American flag drops, curtains close, everybody loves it. We cut outside, and Ralph is signing autographs
Yeah,
because he did a fantastic job.
think he'll get
and-
Valentine's now.
Yeah, right. So he's so him and Lisa have a chat, and Lisa gives him a "Let's Be Friends" card.
And
with
there's a
bee on-
picture of a
Yeah,
bee.
God, Ralph. And so I love the fact that, you know, Wiggum's sitting in his car, you know, probably just watching Ralph to make sure he's okay. And Lisa and Wiggum and Ralph are swinging on the swing set, and Wiggum ignores a call out for a riot. He's like, not tonight. Shuts it off.
Yeah,
And,
not
and he
tonight.
he shuts off the radio. He turns on KBBL, and we get a bookend of the episode with them playing the Monster Mash yet again on President's Day. And we see Lisa and Ralph on the swing set. We get another pull out of the Heart Wipe, and we get the Monster Mash playing over credits.
Yep, because you know that was it Brian and Marty, Bill and Marty, Bill and Marty. They, I guess, we don't know which one played it.
No, we
Bill
don't.
or we don't know which one is the dumb one that plays Monster Mash. But one of them,
So what do they play? So what do they play for Halloween? Do they play a Christmas song?
yes, they play
Every other
Jingle
holiday
Bells.
it's or Jingle Bells, but every other holiday it's Monster Mash, regardless of the holiday.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
It means a lot.
So I enjoyed this episode. It is a fantastic episode. My only issue with it is once you get past the Valentine's Day stuff and into kind of like the back half, I kind of felt like it dragged on forever. Like I feel like I don't know, to me it felt like it just kind of dragged on a little bit. And now, mind you, I did watch this at like 11 o'clock at night, so I was kind of tired when I watched this. It's a great episode. It didn't end out how I thought it was going to, because I thought it was the episode where it ends where Lisa and Janie walk Ralph home, but it is not this episode.
No,
so I'm misremembering
it's
that.
definitely not.
But you get the Ralph one-liners. You get like Chief Wiggum and Krusty the Clown at a porno. You get some good stuff. It's not, to me, it just doesn't reach that level of 5. Not quite. I feel like there's just something else that needs to be in there. I do love the President's Day song, and Ralph does a fantastic job. I don't know, there's just something in there towards once they get to like the President's Day stuff. It just, I don't know, it kind of feels disconnected to me a little bit. So it's a fantastic episode. Just does not quite hit that tier 5 for me. So I'm going to give it a 4 sprinkles.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to disagree with you, Ebert. I mean Robert. I'm giving it 2 thumbs up. And by that I mean in 5, everything's coming up Milhouse. I mean, God, just watching this episode again just made me realize how much I love Ralph Wiggum and his lines. I mean, the scissors, the gluing his head to the shoulder, the crayon. I mean, this was just the episode in the classroom. I think there's only one other episode where we get like several Ralph quotes within a scene in the classroom.
Yeah.
But Mr. Simpson, the terpenes are making me dizzy. And the funny thing about it is my wife Shay, while I'm watching this episode, comes downstairs and dries her hair in the bathroom because that's where her hair dryer is. And I have to pause it. And I yell at her. I'm like, look, I'm trying to watch the Simpson episode. Don't make me quote lines without watching it. And so then I like immediately start quoting the lines like over her hair dryer because it was that scene. And I'm like, dude, I know all these lines. You can't stop me. But no, I mean, I love this Valentine's Day episode. It is absolutely classic. The Valentine itself, the choo choo choose me joke is fantastic.
Also, that's kind of why it gets downgraded for me because I hate Valentine's Day. So sorry, you lose points.
I mean, really, the only downside to this episode for me was just the chalkboard gag. Like, I just didn't get it, didn't understand it. I mean, that's really the only.
Well, they all can't be winners.
No, they can't. But yeah, I mean, everything else about this episode, the Bart being John Wilkes Booth was fantastic. the Krusty special was awesome. I love Lisa breaking Ralph's heart. I mean, that was awesome. Yeah. I mean, no kid likes to get their heart broken, but Lisa really laid into Ralph. I thought that was really something that's not, I wouldn't say is a Lisa thing, but man, you push Lisa hard enough, she's gonna crack on you. So yeah, I'm gonna go 5 for me. This was just a fantastic, well put together episode, and I mean, the writer, I don't know, I've ever, I usually look at writers, but this one was, I think in my mind, a newer writer on staff, but was directed by Wes Archer, so you got a seasoned veteran directing. Yes. So that's where I'm going with it. So let's finish off with our character profile, and this week we got the all stupid Ralph Wiggum.
He's not stupid.
My cat's breath smells like cat food.
He's not stupid. He's special.
He's special. He's a special man. Ralph Wiggum, his age, 8 years old. Grade, his first year of 4th grade.
No, wouldn't it be 2nd grade? Because Bart's in 4th.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, Bart's in 4th grade.
Yeah.
Lisa's in 2nd.
Okay, I guess, wow. I guess I got it wrong.
Yeah.
That's weird. Unless he doesn't move up at all.
No. And 8 years old in 4th grade doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make any sense. Sorry, folks. First year in second grade. He's in 2nd grade. We'll just go with that.
Yes.
Accomplished at sleeping and acting, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay. So I almost equate this to football. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are definitely some very smart athletes out there that go to college and get great degrees and everything. But a lot of football players, I wouldn't say are your smartest cookies in the jar. Yeah. But I'll tell you this, to be a football player, to memorize those plays, to know where you need to be, you do have to have some intelligence to run plays, to memorize all these plays, and to know what's going on.
So, I would say a lot of football players are more street smart than book smart.
Yes. And so I could see this in Ralph. I could see, hey, you know what? There's a skill you're fantastic at and you know how to do. And for him, I guess that's acting. Yeah. Connections. Father is chief of police. I don't know how Wiggum got that job, but let's just say he's the smartest of all the chiefs.
Yeah. I think there's an episode where we find out where he became chief, isn't there?
Oh, maybe. If there's not, they should make one. Yeah. Ralph's happiest day, when the doctor told him he didn't have worms anymore.
Oh.
That was the happiest day of his life. Yeah. Favorite foods, school supplies. Yeah. He does like eating paste. I have Ralph eating paste in my Funko Pop. He likes eating crayons. What else is he eating? Glitter. I think he's eating
Yeah, I
glitter.
think he's eating glitter.
I don't know what else. We'll keep an eye out for what else he eats. His shame. His parents wouldn't let him use scissors or the oven.
Well, you really shouldn't be letting an 8-year-old use the oven.
No, probably not. And Mrs. Most, the point. So, yeah. Fantastic. I love Lisa. I do love Lisa. Lisa's the best. Yep. So let's close it out to where you can find us. So be sure to check us out on our social media, Facebook, The Simpsons Did It Podcast. And if you want to tag us in anything, at The Simpsons Did It Pod. Instagram, The Simpsons Did It Pod. Twitter, Simpsons Did It PC. You can donate to our podcast. Just head over to buymeacoffee.com/Simpsons Did It. And thank you again to everyone who's donated. And I hope you guys are enjoying your stickers. All donations will also go towards future merchandise. So more you guys donate, the more we can come up with new stuff for you. Lastly, check out our YouTube channel. Just type in The Simpsons Did It Podcast, because right now we still don't have a valid URL. So I implore you guys, subscribe, like videos, and just for the fun of it, comment on them so we can see what you guys are thinking. Also, if you guys are Apple Podcast listeners, head over to Apple Podcasts and rate and review us. That just helps us kind of gain more traction and get more listens. And one last thing I just learned. So Spotify allows you to add polls to your episodes. Okay. So, yeah. So I'm going to start doing that weekly now. So if you guys listen to our episodes on Spotify, when you click, I tested this out, when you click our episode, just scroll down to the bottom, just beyond the description of it, and the poll will be there. So as you guys fill out these polls, we can talk about them on air, or I could post them on social media. I was thinking about doing like a survey Saturday where I collect all of these beginning on Sunday to Saturday, and then I post it again, and I can give you guys the results of said poll. Yeah, nice. So I think that's kind of cool. So lastly, we have a phone number for you guys to call in and tell us all the fun things you want to tell us about either the Simpson episode, the podcast in general, things you like. And also in the future, what we're going to do is we'll open up our lines for questions regarding upcoming episodes so we can put your feedback within those episodes of the podcast. And that phone number is 612-584-0986. So call us, leave a voicemail. So, until next time, I'm Steven Skolansky.
And I'm your co-host, Robert Skolansky.
And this has been The Simpsons Did It.
Shh.